Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. I'm going to do a long overdue haul video, and these purchases came essentially from an antique mall and a thrift store, I guess, or maybe two thrift stores. So I will begin with the stuff I have in front of me, but I will also say that this is an extremely sad and disappointing day. I'm taping this on March 3rd, and we've just seen the news conference from the White House announcing the imposition of 25% tariffs on Canadian goods and, of course, Mexico. Our government, when it was Canadian government, when this stuff was first announced about a month ago, said that they would retaliate with dollar for dollar tariffs in kind against this illegal action. There is a signed by Trump, free trade agreement between the three countries as we speak. For whatever reason, he has chosen to break that agreement, and anyway, so it is obviously there will be pain on both sides of the border, and I will essentially be changing my settings on my sales platforms, which are Etsy and Maker's Market, to Canada only status, and I will be withdrawing from the scheduled YouTube live sale that Joni, Not So Fast Joni, and I had planned for, ironically, my birthday on March 6th. So anyway, for the sake of my own mental well-being, I have been trying my best to graciously accept the inevitable, that there is a madman running amok, changing everything that's... anyway, maybe I'll stop there. So, these pieces of, I guess those are buds. Yeah, buds and leaves. This floral lace was actually sewn together. Well, it was sewn like two layers together. This is obviously not a matching piece because they're two different lengths. And then it was circular. So I don't know if they were, I don't know what they were, but I took them apart because I thought this made them more usable. So there are 8 pieces of this stuff. You can see I still have some plucking of loose threads to do. So this came from the antique mall. I had been given a gift card from that mall and another one in Edmonton for Christmas, and I thought, okay, this is burning a hole in my pocket. Why don't I burn through that? So of course I did, plus more. So I didn't, until this moment, I didn't really know what was in this bag. But you can see there's everything from a single motif to bigger ones and strands, and so I thought that gave a lot of possibilities. Now, this feels like it's probably mostly cotton, or maybe all cotton. This feels more synthetic. But I think I will throw some pieces of this into my little doohickey that I keep for dyeing purposes. Because one of these days, I'm going to do some more, well, I don't know, creative, exploratory, daring dyeing than I have up until now. So yeah, I was pretty happy with, where am I going to put all this? Maybe I'll just shove it over here for the time being. And then I bought this package of silk ribbon. And you can see these don't look vintage. Well, it's got a barcode. Oh, polyester. Okay, I didn't realize they were polyester. The other ribbon that I have like this is actual silk, which is, of course, you know, silk ribbon embroidery. Kind of, that makes sense. Anyway, of course, these were the colors that sort of appealed to me. Look at how narrow this one is. Oh my goodness. That's apparently is 2 millimeters. Yeah, so there are, I mean, I think it looked very appealing in the package. So that is why I got it. So obviously I need to incorporate some of this into some of the slow stitching that I've been doing. Yeah, so all of this is polyester. I wish I would have paid a little closer attention. Polyester and nylon. Anyway, I'm sure it doesn't materially affect how the strands respond. Okay, I'll do that later. Okay, what else? Maybe let's do some miscellaneous type stuff. Aura reading. Excuse me, Aura reading cards. Set of 100 cards. Of course, there's never any way of knowing, short of counting them, whether it's intact, but it certainly looks like it. I didn't need these, honestly, but I'm interested in things like this. And of course, you know, maybe I could try to convince you that I needed cards to cover and turn into journaling cards. Don't fall for that. I've got lots of cards. So, yeah, I probably could have done without that. It says, learn to see and interpret the auras surrounding you. These cards are filled with knowledge and activities to teach you everything about auras and how we can use them to improve our physical, mental, and spiritual health. Okie dokie. Now this, I hope this must have been the retail price. I paid $3.50. So I should have actually, this packaging is god awful. I should have done this before I started. Oh, I didn't realize that there was, let's see if we can cut myself with this. You know, these shards of plastic are so sharp. Okay, so those are, it appears, interchangeable designs. I'm going to have to save this card though, because there were instructions on how to do this. When one isn't enough, you need 3. That sounds like something I could have written. Let's get rid of these pieces too. So, you know, that's going, whoa. Nothing like making a black inky mark on my, I didn't realize that. Well, how could that, oh, the ink is in there. Oh my goodness. So yes, it's got ink. It's like those self-inking stamps. Oh, darn it, that was just the TV remote that hit the floor. So obviously I was going through, I started going through my stamp collection, and I don't mean, you know, postage stamps, I mean cling stamps and wood-mounted stamps. Because I have way too many. And so some of the ones that I still think I might want, I'm actually going to test. And frankly, if they don't cut the mustard, then they are gonzo. Okay, so this needs some more experimentation. And I'm running out of spaces to put things. Okay. I picked up this single pattern because it's so darn cute. These are doll clothes. Is Simplicity the one that puts a year on their pattern? Oh yeah, 1960. So that's kind of cool. And the store didn't stamp their name all over somebody's face, so that's always a good thing. So cute. Now I have a number of books. Maybe I should I'll do books, and then I'll show you some dresses, and then I will conclude with a spectacular book. Now I paid dearly for it, but I think it will be worth it. Got a teeny weeny one here called the Snow Queen. And I just thought, you know, sometimes a lot of kids' books are so darn big that you can't possibly, you know, take them apart and use a signature page. Look at that, sewn in. But wouldn't this size page be cute in some kind of a project? I found the Little Red Hen. And it's a golden book, but it's the smaller size. And who among us didn't love well, once we were old enough to understand it, who didn't love the underlying premise of this story? This is 1981. And it appears in wonderful condition. And, you know, a style of illustration that I appreciate. Oh, Canada. Now, I know I have another one of these, but I don't know. Oh, there might be. Yeah, I guess it must have been a series. So hopefully this is different than the one I already have. But you can see it's a very distinctive, you know, almost like a coloring book style of illustration. So I thought that was cute. And of course, if it is a duplicate of what I already have, that's okay too, because then there are no hard choices to make. And I can't really this like was machine stitched kind of, because you can see all those. Anyway, Make Big Plans. I don't even remember what this one was about. This is obviously 2023, so that's very news. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Life grants nothing to us mortals without hard work. Like, it's just... Oh, those are sewn in. So this would also be a nice one to take apart. The cover is great. I mean, obviously a very skinny spine. But the pages are... I haven't even pulled out my ruler. Clearly I'm discombobulated. Oops, that's not big enough. So a signature like this, yeah, 5 1/4, that would be an ideal size. Wouldn't have to trim or do anything. So I thought that was kind of cool. Oh, Taylor Swift. Why doesn't someone tell me not to pick at those things, but to use my heat gun instead? So, oh, I didn't realize that there were sort of these tribute type books to real people. I love Betty White. Anyway, So this is a 2023. It doesn't feel as though this book has even been cracked open, so that was good. Today was a terrible day. Now, the reason I picked this one is because of these classroom type illustrations. There's, you know, something afoot in our community in that the once closed school is being reimagined as a charter school. So kind of got school in the brain. This one, I don't know, that looks like a garage sale sticker, but you can just tell by this cover that this is old. Printed in Italy, la-di-da. Now, I'm not a cat person. I've said that repeatedly, but honestly, look at these illustrations. Look at this kitten border. And I have to say, kittens are considerably, now are they identical? Yes, they are. Kittens are far more attractive or cute or irresistible or whatever than adult cats. So I'm making I'm breaking my policy, and I will have that as my cat book. Okay, science all around us. So this would, it says highlights for children. So 11 by 8.5. So this, again, long time since my kids have been highlights readers. Oh, 1962, 1978. So I imagine, or it appears, that they must have been doing specialty type publications too, because this isn't a regular, a regular monthly magazine. So this is cool, of course, in part because, well, it's in perfect condition, but also the way that it's got these monochromatic, colors on the different sections. Whoops, grabbed two by accident. Okay, an ABC community picture book. Oh, this is sort of local to an area outside of Edmonton. And again, who doesn't love a library scene? Or, see, I should have flipped through a little more carefully. I thought it was all about the I thought the cover told the story, but apparently not. It's an ABC book, and I guess they are with each letter making the connection to their community. So, I mean, obviously it's still a great resource, and it is more landscape than it is portrait. So 10 by, or how about it's more square? I should maybe move these out of the way, because pretty soon I'm going to have an issue. And, the beauty of doing a haul video is that you can then start putting things away. One of the things that I requested, because when you have everything you need, it's a matter of making gift suggestions for those things that you want. So I have, in my studio, I have the 6-drawer Alex, like the IKEA Alex drawer system. I've had it probably for, 20 years maybe. And I thought, I've got space to go up. So I put that on my birthday list, and my husband took it upon himself to buy it, and yesterday actually assembled it, and I didn't even have to pass any tools, run hither and yon looking for things, or hold anything. So today we positioned it, we put it on top. He didn't put the casters on the second one. Reinforced the bottom one so that those poor plastic crappy quality casters are not having to hold up the weight of 12 doors. So I'm in the process of finding new ways to store things. So I tell you, I've never seen so much of my floor since the day I moved in here. So it's pretty exciting. And it's getting me closer to a studio tour video. Anyway, I digress. Mrs. Toggle's beautiful blue shoe. So you can again tell right off the bat that it's going to be a school storybook. Trumpet Club Special Edition. This is a 1994. So if I'm going to do something about school days, then obviously we need a teacher and a teacher's desk and all that stuff. And again, love it that the illustrator, mind you, these kids all seem very short. Look at this little guy. It is pretty well landscape. That's like a little pregnant. It is landscape. And so, you know, the pages would fold quite nicely to create a signature page if that's what I chose to do. Or, you know, of course, fussy cutting because the illustrations are kind of, they're positioned in such a way. Don't tell me her blue shoe ended up in the tree. Were they making a nest in it? Oh, she's got 2 blue shoes back on, so I guess all is right with the world. Okay, so I thought that one was cute. Then this one, let's get some of these marks off. You know, the part that kills me about these wipes is that they dry so quickly. You barely have time to clean the thing you wanted to clean. And before you know it, they're too dry. Anyway, I'm getting a bit of dirt off here. Okay, this one is called 18 Cousins. It is also landscape. Okay, let's see what we have here. Washington, D.C. This was by Parents Magazine Press, 1968. Cool, 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 cool. So look at how cute this is. I guess those kids must be related because they all look alike. But just look how sweet. 18 cousins watching me. "18 cousins running after me." Yeah, so I thought that one was pretty cute. Okay. Now, any books that I bought with the intention of giving them to somebody in Happy Mail or with an order, whatever, obviously I'm not showing. Okay, Disney presents Sing-Along Songbook. So the, Roman numerals. 1987. $1972. Oh, this is kind of coming apart. But again, really cute for nice big titles. Lyrics, obviously, the music staff. So, you know, anybody who's kind of a Disney fan would appreciate something like this. Okay, bedtime story books told by Lisa and Michael. Now this too feels and looks old. Can't remember if I was able to print it in Italy. There doesn't appear to be a date on it, but we can tell by this, by the feel of this rather nice paper, that It's old. I'm not as expert as some people on sort of estimating dates, but I'm sure someone in the comments can tell me when this style of illustration was popular. Was it the 60s or the 70s? I'm not sure. But a lot of vibrant color, a lot of opportunities to, you know, this could be cut and become a small signature page. Something like that can be a belly band, of course. Fussy cutting opportunities. I mean, you guys know the drill. I don't need to tell you that. Unless this is your very first video, in which case, welcome. And thanks for choosing my channel. The night before kindergarten. Again, there seemed to be a bit of a pattern to the kinds of books I was finding. Oh, it looks like a teacher would have given that to somebody. Again, not my favorite style of illustration. This seems a bit, I don't know, careless, loose. So, you know, it shows all the, and I mean, anyone who's ever had children and had to send them off to school, you know what it's like the day before. And sometimes in the weeks leading up to that, you know, when you're doing the shopping for the clothes and the school supplies and getting them back into some sort of a bedtime routine that is tenable. So I just thought that was kind of, and of course, more classroom type illustrations. The parents are crying. Well, they're either crying or they're having, or they're doing the happy dance, one or the other. Probably not too many reactions in between. Now I have 2 or 3 of these English Rose books by Madonna, English Roses books by Madonna, but I don't have this large format. Mine are the, you know, the smaller ones. Kind of cool end papers. Now this is quite, this is 2003, kind of glossy, but I mean, this is very clearly another style of illustration. If these girls' legs weren't so darn skinny, I would suggest fussy cutting them, but they're practically like toothpicks, so I don't know if those legs could hold those girls up. It's too bad that even in look at this, that even in books like this, everybody is so minuscule, shall we say. Only if you're an old lady do you have some curves and some meat on your bones. Not very good for body image inclusion, that's for sure. Anyway, interesting. And, you know, obviously vibrancy of colors and so on. Okay, still have a few more of these kind to go through. Okay, Little Rabbits Lose Tooth. Bunnies are pretty darn cute. This also feels like an older book. Also landscape. 75. Wiggling that front tooth. So, again, a different style of illustration because you can see it's almost, you know, I don't want to say washed out, but very sort of pastel and muted compared to the one we just looked at. I don't believe in the tooth fairy anyway, says the little rabbit. Speaking of that, did I tell you that I'm getting a night, mouth guard for nighttime. Do Unto Otters, a book about manners. Yes, sorry if this is something I've already said. I don't remember what I said. That's also a good reason never to lie, people. You don't have to worry about keeping your story straight. Anyway, I went to the dentist for cleaning, and I mentioned that I had had the massage therapist work on my jaw. She found a sore spot, some tight muscles. I was ready to slug her, and I'm not a violent person, but I could have hit her, gladly hit her. And anyway, I said to the dentist, I said, so like did 9.5 out of 10 people grind or clench their teeth? He says, actually, oh, I didn't realize this was damaged. He says, actually, it's about 80%. So I'm in good company. Anyway, I said, so of course they did the scan, which is some amazing technology. Put this thing in your mouth, and you can see a 3-dimensional image appearing on the monitor beside you. That is going to help them custom make it to, obviously, my mouth. This is a 2007. Do Unto Otters. Oh, I guess this is not my thing at all, but they had me at that clever title. Look at these guys. Mind you, if I fussy cut something like this and work them into an art journal, that would help in my risk taking. Anyway, so of course, our closest and favorite hockey team is the Edmonton Oilers. And I said, and I promised to wear it like McDavid and his compadres do. And of course, that was a joke, because you know how those guys chew on their mouth guards through entire games. This is August 2012. Chew through their, it's more like a candy or something as they're skating along. I don't know what good that stuff would do in protecting having their teeth all knocked out onto the ice, but oh, I didn't realize this was here. Let's see. Oh, it's a game. That's cool. This is sweet. And a little crafty thing and some birds. I thought that my favorite part of highlights used to be, wasn't there, what was that recurring puzzle? Was it Find the Difference? Oh, Hidden Pictures, that was it. Cool. I bet you I could do it. Look, I found the boot right off the bat. Anyway, so that was kind of nice. That's a little memory generator there. I Wonder Why, Butterflies Flutter, and Other Questions About Creepy Crawlies. A Reader's Digest Young Families book. So, 1995. So, of course, the nice part about these books are the illustrations. I mean, some of them are clearly a bit oversized, but then, something like that would be cute. Huh. So, something like this, a person would kind of have to assess page by page. Too big to use as it is, but couldn't that be great on an art journal page? Which insect is the laziest parent? The cuckoo bee doesn't look after her own babies. Holy cow. Instead, she sneaks into another bee's nest and lays her eggs there. When the baby cuckoo bees hatch out, they eat any food they find, even their foster brothers and sisters. The queen bee lays up to 3,500 eggs a day for several weeks at a time. No wonder she only lives for a couple years. Well, yeah. Amen to that. Huh. So, yes, there's some, obviously some fussy cutting possibilities here. Not to mention, now knowing the answer to a trivia question. Laziest insect parent. Oh, I love those dragonflies. Cool. Okay, now I won't take too much time flipping through these because they're all essentially the same. They're Where's Waldo books. I don't even know what makes the difference. Oh, I guess maybe that was an original. Let's just see what year this is. And of course, the beauty of these, in 1980s, it says 87 to 2021. The beauty of these pages is they're so darn colorful. And they're oversized, so you can make envelopes with them. Okay, so this maybe was the first one. Then there's Where's Waldo, The Fantastic Journey, and Where's Waldo Now. So, yeah, love this. Okay. Oh, they're saying, oh, so maybe these came in a box set because it says box set 20. Let's just line this up and we'll see exactly how they were in the box. Look at that. Yeah, 2021. Oh, and then I have a finale to show you. I better not forget. Let me put that there. Okay, so now we're on to more grown-up things. This is another pilot logbook. Now I have a couple, one with entries, one blank one, and now this one is about half the size. I don't even know what the heck this is. Kodak safety something. Don't know what that is, but it was in this book. So this is 1967, and this was a guy that apparently flew at the Royal Canadian Flying Clubs Association. So, oh, is that the only page he wrote on? And then what is this? Outline. I look at the good tape. Private Pilot's Ground School. And outline of flying training for private pilots. That's like a tongue twister. Okay, so we'll just put this back in here, but obviously cute little pages. Can you imagine? This must be sewn in, of course it is, yes. How cute that would be to, you know, have this become a signature page. Oops, the tape keeps flying away. Yeah. Cool. Okay, now this one I need to snip this off. This came from the antique mall. Not quite sure why they did that. That was just a piece of string that appeared to be holding the dust jacket, keeping the dust jacket intact. Naturally, I wanted to peek behind it and see what the cover was like. And it's beautiful. A little bit of fading right there, but on the whole, very nice. And this was obviously before plasticized dust jackets, so that too is a bonus. So these are selected stories for girls. 13 stories in the individual style of noted authors who know how to tell a fine story, exciting, touching, lighthearted, dramatic, and adventurous or gay. Everyone wholesome in tone and well worth reading. There is no girl off from 9 to 14 who will not love this fine, full book, which with its 4 color plates, abundance of black and white pictures makes an attractive and worthwhile possession forever. Something to treasure. Now, it seems to me, when I did flip through, see, here's another great classroom scene. I could not find a date, which doesn't seem that unusual for these British published books. But the paper is almost that newsprinty style, you know. So let's at least find the 4 color plates before moving on. So I didn't have the chance, nor did I do it before I bought it, to try to determine what year this was. Is this something I can scan? Is it out of copyright? Or do I just use the original? That's an old truck, so, but in great condition. Usually a lot of these old books are, you know, separated from their spine. Lovely. Lovely. And of course, the cover itself is in great shape, and you know, there's the integrity of the whole book there. So that could even just be used for a more modern, you know, a more modern project. Okay. How do I want to do this? Maybe I'll just switch momentarily to some clothing. Then I have 2 books and the best thing of all to show you. Now, I picked, this is a size 7/8, so cute, obviously, pattern. Now this print along the bottom is its own section. So once now that I'm showing it to you, I can begin taking it apart. So obviously this could lend itself to some cute little journal covers, or, you know, it could become a tie around a journal or whatever. So not counting the seam allowance, it's about 4 1/4. Cute little buttons to salvage. And then these little, they're not, I don't know what you call those exactly. Not exactly rivets, but of course it has to be doubled up there to protect the kid's skin from the back of these things. Whoopsie, there's my pink thread. And a nice big section of fabric just to be used for its own project. So, you know, it's typically my practice to wash the things that are washable after I've gotten them. I picked this next one because I still think at some point I'm doing a peony journal. Now this is just a Walmart brand, size 8, but look at some of these gorgeous peonies. Now this, I'm sure it's all polyester. Yeah. So, you know, this in itself would be easy enough to cut around and then applique. Or find, again, because there's so few, you know, in kids' clothes there typically aren't that many seams, it would be easy enough to find a big enough piece. Now I see there's some stains on there, these little dots here. Find a big enough expanse. This is over 20 inches right here between these. There's the seam and there's the seam. So this is probably 2 feet wide here. So obviously there's plenty to do more than one journal cover Excuse me, if that is what I choose to do. And then, of course, the bodice. The back, this is fairly thick, so that's good. And then there's this little bit of crinoline. This stuff is great. You know, sometimes I can't be bothered taking this stitching out, although these stitches are pretty big, so it wouldn't be that hard. But even if a person just tears or cuts along there, this kind of stuff is great for picking up a bit of dye, you know, like dyeing it, squash it up, throw it in a cup of coffee or tea, and it adds a lovely element to your clusters or whatever you happen to be making. And this satiny lining looks like the bodice is lined as well, so a few buttons to salvage at the back. So yes, now that and there was probably a belt, but there was, look at these tiny little loops. This too will get washed. I'll try to do a little stain treatment on these, whatever this is. And, but now, again, now that I've shown you, I can begin the salvaging part. Believe it or not, these clothes, this one says $4, but because I bought 5 of them, they were $1 each. Like, you can't buy a and now of course I have to put some, you know, sweat equity into salvaging the parts, but $1, for heaven's sakes. Oh, I didn't even realize it had this pretty pink. Is the lining all the way through? Yeah, pretty well. Yes, it is. Oh, I see. That's what's giving it its color. So this too, is this a Walmart thing? No, it isn't, but it's also size 8. So this same one kid must have donated all her dresses. But, you know, cute little collar, a bow to salvage. Just remove a few stitches there. Now, of course, this looks lovely with this sort of geranium color, but this could obviously be put over any color. And again, just 2 side seams. So nice big chunk of this, and like a sort of you know, sort of that fake silk look. I don't know if I hold still, I guess maybe you could see what I'm talking about, that little design on there. So that too is a good one. And 3 buttons to salvage there, because you know I do have a critical shortage of buttons. Now let me just make sure this is washable. I'm sure it must be. Yeah, it's all polyester. And so that will go in the wash as well. You'll never guess why I picked this one. Look how cute. So this is just stitched on with a couple of stitches there. Some cute little buttons. This waistband will be a trim to be salvaged. And then, of course, this big poofy skirt. Oh, and more of that crinoline type material. So isn't this a pretty little pattern? This is small. It's only 6 to 12 months. And this is also a Walmart dress. But, you know, a kid this size or this age, they can't even really get them dirty because, you know, they're probably not even walking at this point. So that's a cute one. And then this is, are you ready for this one? So this is a 24-month one, all polyester. So yeah, even machine wash, cold. So I would put this in a garment, in one of those mesh bags. Little zipper. Oh, a long zipper. But look at how cute these are. So we've got this netting type material with these sequins that have been sewed on, and all these shabby flowers. Now, I defy you to tell me where I could have gotten all of this for $1. And this satin tiered type waistband with this belt, half belt. What do we have inside? I lost my wipe there. Yeah, so you have to, you know, with something as complicated as this one, you kind of have to be methodical. And, you know, you're not going to be able to save every little scrap, but I would probably take the lining off first. There's a couple stitches holding that, so this part would come out. And again, a few stitches there. This crinoline is crisper than those other ones I've shown you. Again, a bit of lining, so this obviously would lend itself, although there are more seams in this dress than in the others. But yeah, you know, sometimes you don't need a mile-long piece of fabric in order to make. This is such a heavy little dress just because it's so ornate. You don't need a mile-long piece of fabric to make a ruffle either. You know, you use what you have. So if it happens to be 18 inches, use 18 inches. If it's 36 inches, use 36 inches. Okay, I'm sure this is going on longer, although I'm sure you also love to see all this stuff. This book, this cover is in sad shape. However, you know that I'm going to salvage what I can here. Anyway, the part that had me at this, despite the state of the cover, Your Dogs and Mine, 115 pen drawings and 18 etched portraits with text by Diana Thorne. Now, this cost me a little bit of money. The booth holder actually came by as I was there. It's separated. I should have asked him if he could do better than the price. I don't know why I didn't, even though I was shopping with, you know, a gift card. I could have still tried to stretch my money a little further. So we've got this. Oh, some smart aleck traced around it. We've got this that obviously I would separate, plus a piece like that. Now, I didn't take it. Peekaboo, 1932. I didn't take the time to the bark and the yelp and the whine and the growl and the tale that they tell. I did not take the time to see if they have a French bulldog. But, you know, it's just, they're so cute. Look at that. Dash them. Normally I flip from the back. Oh, what's this? Oh, this looks like one of those paint party type things. But it's watercolor paper, so you can be sure that I will find a use for that. And this is not as ugly as some of those things we sometimes see come out of those parties. So, look how sweet. And look at this teeny tiny little thing, 2.5 inches tall, gets this whole page to herself. Oh, but there's that there. So anyway, of course, it's one of those things that will take a bit of figuring to see how to maximize the number of illustrations a person can save. And this, I don't know if this paper was this color to begin with or if it's sort of yellowed over time, but it's just, I don't know, so darn cute. And of course, with a page like this, you know, a person could, I don't know, is that visible to you? You know, and of course, sewn in signatures. So take it apart gingerly and then use either this border or this border. What do we got here for height? So that's about 8 inches, the drawing and the woman's signature. So, you know, cut it here and then use either this side or this side as a flip, like folded back on itself, and you manage to save that side as well. That's the beauty of having those larger margins. So I'm sure the same thing would work here. That will be harder though because of the placement, but you see what I'm getting at. You just have to try really hard to maximize, you know, the number of pieces that you can save. Just so, and of course some of these are very tiny. Now, you know, she keeps, it looks like she's I don't know, she's giving these dogs the vamp, the rogue, you know, I would have almost appreciated maybe more, this is loose here, more information about the breed as opposed to whatever, but I guess her book, her choice. Yeah, no bulldogs in here. Anyway, I thought that was really cool because there's a lot of original art to be gotten out of here. Okay, now this book I paid, well, I don't want to say an arm and a leg, but, you know, maybe close. The thing that got my eye was the fact that it was a shabby cover. Because, you know, when you're at an antique mall and you see mile upon mile of book titles, most of the time I gravitate, if that's what I'm seeing, that's what I'm gravitating to, as opposed to the shiny new ones. Farm Weeds, Department of Agriculture, Canada. We're farmers in Canada. So, and the book is thick. Well, I'll tell you all the dimensions. So it's 10 1/4 by 7 1/4 by 1 and a generous 1 1/2. So it's a substantial book. Now I did do the Google Lens thing just to get a feel for, okay, this price seems high. How does it check out with other, you know, how does it compare price-wise? Now, of course, we sometimes know that Etsy prices are, like, people are delusional in what they're charging, but they're also selling, I guess, at that price. So, what the market will bear. So, 1923, the original price was $2. But maybe I have to start at the back. The book is in pretty sound condition. There's, you know, maybe there's a bit of weakening there. Now, I thought that these plates at the back here with the seeds are kind of cool. So I will, look into the copyright thing, and if I can, I will digitize this, because even though they're weeds, there is, let's face it, there is something quite beautiful about that. And the paper is just, it almost feels like pebbled or something. So these things are almost, 1 7/8 by 1 5/8. So they're not square, but, couldn't those almost be considered inchies or twinchies? And look how many of these there are. Like, I think they're, and then the illustrations. So this is what every single plate looks like. So let's see. So 71 of these plates. And again, at some point, somebody designated this a weed. But we don't discriminate against weeds in our journals. Sow thistle. Perennial sow thistle. So, it's one of those things. Now, I thought I read something at the beginning that, they're not pretending this is a botanical reference book or anything. But you can see that in many ways, it's almost laid out that way, because you see the flowers, you see the buds, you see the root system, you see a close-up of the foliage. So, there are lots of Canada thistle. Yikes, that's a bad thing if you've ever tried to get rid of it. I thought that I read at some point that they produce something like 10,000 seeds. They also have a crazy root system, which of course is part of what makes them so undesirable. But they are quite attractive in bloom. Common burdock. Stinking willy? I've never heard of that. Common ragwort. Oxtail or white daisy. Stinking mayweed. Oh, these are attractive names. Black-eyed Susan. But again, I can't say enough about how gorgeous these drawings are. And to have them all in color is exceptional too, because it doesn't, I remember my mom and I had that business in town, and I don't know if I was walking to the post office or whatever, and I came across these flowers blooming in the back alley. And I thought, these are unbelievable. They're like mini snapdragons, because of course, if you, like a kid, if you pinch them the right way, you can make their little mouths open. So I pick a few of these. Little did I know that it's a noxious weed. Well, it's invasive for sure. So anyway, now they must be vanquished. Look at this. Clover. And again, it would be interesting to compare whether these same plants are on the 2025 most wanted list. But it just goes on forever. Have you ever seen anyone as excited about weeds? I prefer mine in books as opposed to in flower beds. lamb's quarter. And some of these, you know, I don't know that I've ever, oh, this is a bad one too, buckwheat, because it twines around, it grows up neighboring, like if you had a good plant here and you had some buckwheat there, it would wind its way around the stem. So it's kind of a nuisance to get rid of. Yeah, it would be interesting to know if these are still all on the bad list. And some of these names I've just heard my husband talk about them because, of course, they can also be, you know, well, they are undesirable in a crop of, you know, grain. So that is that guy. And then my grand finale. And again, I paid for this. Well, I paid for everything. Haven't stolen anything. New York Central Railroad Company. So, of course, these were, along with some other things, similar things, were under the counter. So I had to get somebody to open the showcase and show it to me. And she said, oh, yes, these are railway tickets. Well, you know, I've bought a cat in a bag before, so I was just doing some reading, and no, they're not tickets. They're bonds. And she had maybe 3 of this particular thing. And I said, naturally, I want the one that has the fewest pieces missing. So that happened to be this one. Now, I guess I'm not worldly enough to know too much about bonds. Like, obviously, when we were kids, a very sound investment, especially for a kid, but also a lot of people, were buying Canada Savings bonds. So you bought them, say you bought one for $100 in, I don't know, 5 or 7 years, it would double. So that was pretty good. Anyway, so here it says, where did I see it? So you see something here about where did I see it? Did I misread this? I mean, this looks so darn ancient. But then you see that maturation dates, this is 1970, 71, 72, 73, 88. So the more recent one, so 2013. But again, I don't know exactly how this works. It's just that it looked so ancient with that woman there. American Banknote Company. Oh, so it looks like maybe each of these was worth $25. Now, did this company go bankrupt, or why did somebody not collect? Why were these things not collected on? Now, I was positive that I read something there. So $1,000, refunding an improvement mortgage bond, 5 cents, due October 1st, 2013, interest payable April 1st and October 1st, principal and interest payable in the city of New York. Lovely text, lovely artwork around. Again, that woman looks cool. I'm not sure why these were punched through. Here's a raised corporate seal, an embossed seal there. I was positive that I read something that made this seem older than what I can locate now, so maybe that was my error. This looks ancient to me. And of course, this is practically unreadable. It's so flourishy. Anyway, so I just thought that this was a good opportunity to have some genuine ephemera that a person, oh, they're not perforated, you have to cut them apart. Some genuine ephemera to put in things. So that was my intention here. Oh. Looks like there are 2 pages gone. It's too bad I cannot find the issuing date. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so 50. So say this was complete, so that would be 100. I don't know why I'm trying to do this math in front of you. It's not, probably I'm just embarrassing myself here. I might have to read this a little more closely and then fully maybe have a better idea of what I have here. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm stopping today. I hope that you have enjoyed this. As always, I'd be curious as to what was your favorite part of it. Was it the little teeny tiny book? Was it this? Was it the weed book? The dog drawings? The lace? Like, I mean, it seems I've been here so long, probably forgot what I showed you at the start of the video. Anyway, again, we will see you in the next one. And yeah, we're in for some unsettling days, months, years ahead. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.